Today we're going to be working on exponential functions, and you should definitely write down a little bit of what we're going to do. Thankfully this is not long, but we are going to be talking about what is an exponential function. You don't have to write this part. However, I would make sure that you write down what we're about to do. Excuse me. We have studied, or at least reviewed at the beginning of the year, the linear functions. We have also worked on absolute value. And again, I would write this part down. If you want to watch first, pause it and write down, sorry, groove in the table, you can do that. Then we really spent quite a bit of time on our quadratic functions. Then remember we took the inverse of squaring something, which is to square root. So that was the next function we studied. And then we said, okay, what if you don't square something? What if you cube it? So we had the cubic function. And then we said the inverse of squaring is to square root. And the inverse of cubing would be to cube root, not cube square root, like some of you like to say, cube root. So this is the cube root. And those are the functions we have studied this year. Now, what we're introducing today is an exponential function, and that's our question. What is an exponential? Now, exponential means exponent. So what we need to understand is that here, x is simply a variable. Here it got put in absolute value bars to be an absolute value function. When I squared it, it became quadratic. If I square root, that's the function we have, square root. I raise it to the third power, that's called a cubic function. Cube root, that's that function. So exponential means exponent. That means that my function, this x that is in every single problem, has to now be the exponent. So x is the exponent. We're going to put a b right there, but this could be any number, but your exponent is going to be x. So an exponential function, the exponent is unknown, or is the variable. Okay? An exponential function, the exponent is unknown. It's your variable. Now, I understand there are two variables here, but this guy is going to be a number. When we talk about the parent function, we put a b because this could be any number we want. Now, why isn't this called an exponential function? Again, the exponent is unknown. Here, my exponent is known. It's 2. So it is not an exponential function. Here, I have an exponent, but it is known. My exponent is 3. So the exponent is an unknown. Exponential functions, the exponent has to be unknown. Here I know it's 2. Here I know it's 3. That's why they're not exponential functions. They have their own name. So that's what an exponential function is. The exponent is unknown. It's going to be a variable. Now, what is the parent function? You've actually already written it. It is f of x equals b. This could be any number. We're going to talk about what number later. But the exponent is x. It's unknown. Now, don't forget from back in late elementary or early middle school, that whatever number is here is going to be your base. This little x up here is your exponent. That's just vocabulary that you need to make sure you know. Now, let me give you an example of an exponential function. If you have f of x equals 2 to the x, notice my base is 2. Base is 2. My exponent is unknown. That means it's an exponential function. Okay, I could also have f of x equals 1/3 to the x. Again, my base is known, 1/3. My exponent is unknown. that means that this is an exponential function. I can also be given this function. Again, the base is known, the exponent is unknown. That's an exponential function. Notice that my base was a whole number, it was a fraction, it's a decimal. It doesn't matter what your base is, but it is known. So if I give you this example, we've got an exponential function. My exponent is unknown, my base is 4. If I give you this function, my base is unknown, my exponent is known. And if I have an exponential function, my exponent is unknown. That means that this is not exponential. That is a power, and I know it. That is the difference. 4 raised to the x, that's unknown. X is unknown, raised to the 4th power. I know the power, so it is not exponential. When I have exponential, the exponent is unknown. Make sure that you have written down your parent functions. You're going to need these for the next activity, so make sure you have them and do that. Have them ready to use.